أنفسنا وسيئات أعمالنا من يهد الله فهو المهتد ومن يضلل فلن تجد له وليا مرشدا. الحمد لله الواحد الأحد العزيز الجبار الأول الآخر الظاهر الباطن هو الحي القيوم، هو الذي أنزل على عبده الكتاب ولم يجعل له عوجا، هو الذي خلق الإنسان وعلمه البيان، هو الذي علم بالقلم وعلم الإنسان ما لم يعلم. سبحانك لا علم لنا إلا ما علمتنا إنك أنت العليم الحكيم. اللهم علمنا من علمك وأعطنا من حكمتك وآتنا من لدنك رحمة وهيئ لنا من أمرنا رشدا. وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له، وأشهد أن محمدًا عبده ورسوله وصفيه وخليله، أدى الأمانة وبلغ الرسالة ونصح للأمة فكشف الله به الأمة وتركنا على المحجة البيضاء ليلها كنهارها ولا يزيد عنها إلا هالك. اللهم صل وسلم وبارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما صليت وباركت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم في العالمين إنك حميد مجيد. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون. Indeed, all praise is due to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the one true God who created each and every one of us. He is the first, He is the last, He is the giver, He is the taker, He is the honorer and the dishonorer. I bear witness that there is no deity worthy of worship except that one true God, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam is indeed his prophet and messenger, servant and slave. May Allah's peace and blessings be upon him and his family, as Allah blessed Ibrahim and his family. My dear beloved brothers and sisters, I want to remind myself and each and every one of us that the most important thing that you and I can accomplish in this transitional life is to become people of taqwa. And what better time to prepare ourselves for becoming such people? This is our first Jum'ah of the most blessed month of the year, the month of Ramadan, in which, though people oftentimes focus on the reward aspect of it, which is an incentive for human beings, people always want to get return for their investment, as they say. There's no comparison between business and investment with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Nevertheless, we want to return on our investment. This is the month that we increase our worship. Whether people are advised to do so or not, all the masajids are filled. Everybody shows up on time, competes for the first lines, and so forth and so on. But why? Why? Of course, to go to Jannah. Of course, to become those who see the face of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. May Allah make us all that. But why are we doing that though? Allah tells us in the Quran, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم يا أيها الذين آمنوا كتب عليكم الصيام كما كتب على الذين من قبلكم لعلكم تتقون. It boils down to that one thing that we just talked about. Lest we become, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, those of you who believe, O ye who believe, accepted the faith, accepted Islam, Allah prescribed fasting for you as He prescribed for those who were before you, the Jews, the Christians, and so on. Why? Why that prescription? So we may become people of taqwa. So what happens when you become people of taqwa? You become God conscious all the time. You become self-policing. You become a better person who helps other people, aside from themselves and their families and so forth and so on. So the intention of purifying us is solely to become people of taqwa. Oftentimes what we do is during Ramadan, we violate these sacrificing for other people, giving them space, being patient as you're driving out or into the masjid, lowering our voices as we enter or we're in the hallways so others can focus and concentrate on their prayers. All of those things are signs of taqwa. So in other words, to make us better people. That's the whole purpose of this training camp that we just entered, called Ramadan. A whole month of a boot camp for a spiritual cleansing. So our spirit will be clean enough to accept and embrace taqwa Allah, fear of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in a way that's exclusive to Him and Him only. Not in a way of showing it off. And Rasulullah alayhi salatu wasalam, as we all know, when he talked about taqwa, knowing his people better than anybody else as human beings. When he said, "At-taqwa hahuna, at-taqwa hahuna, at-taqwa hahuna," 3 times pointing to his heart, saying that God fear in the truest sense, holistic God consciousness rests in the heart, not in the superficial, not what we show to the other people. It rests in the heart. Likewise, when Sayyidina Ali was asked to explain what taqwa Allah means, what did he say? Al-khawfu min al-jaleel. That we fear Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in a way exclusive to Him and Him only, in a way that's entirely different than our fear of any other power. وَالْعَلَمُ بِالتَّنْزِيلِ. That we conduct our lives in which way? The way that was revealed to the Prophet ﷺ, and the way he lived his life, in the best of our ability. No one can do 100%. No one can. And we should never look down upon other people because they are not fulfilling certain aspects of the sunnah, as most of us do. This deen became a competition, negative competition. It should never be. That's not faith. That's a sign that the person has not attained taqwa. If the whole purpose becomes to put down another human being because they're not doing it, we should assist other people. If they're not doing as well as you're doing, and they're not remembering that this is a month of Quran, or they're not increasing their level of worship because this is that important of a month, or the importance of the last 10 nights, and so forth and so on, we bring them along. We help them, we advise them, we encourage them, but never to look down upon them. Whether they're family members, friends, neighbors, colleagues, and so forth and so on. We just remind them about the importance of this and the ultimate reward of it. So yes, we are driven by that. من قام رمضان إيمانا واحتسابا غفر له ما تقدم من ذنبه. Rasulullah alayhi salatu wasalam says, whoever stands in worship and prayer with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, with high expectation from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, pure intention for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah forgives whatever sins he committed in the past. The sins of his past. Now some scholars elaborate what that means, and that's a matter of opinion. But But the way Rasulullah said was, غُفِرَ مَا تَقَدَّمَ مِنْ ذَنْبِهِ. The sins that he have committed, as long as they were not conditioned upon the rights of other people. Like you wronged somebody, would Allah forgive you because it's Ramadan without apologizing to the people that you wronged? Is that the way it works? Definitely not. And we know that through different hadith from Rasulullah because Allah will not transgress against the rights of other people. He will forgive you for ma'siyat that you committed against Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but will not take away the rights of other people. That's very critical distinction, because there are some people who will be stealing or wronging other people or transgressing against other people simply because it's Ramadan, mashallah, tabarakallah. You stood for Ramadan, Allah forgave you. And the person's right there in front of their faces and they did not even apologize. Sadly, there are people who think that. Similarly, when they go to Hajj, is a corrupted minister or president or what have you, or a leader or a business person, rips off everybody and kills this, kills that, imprisons this, tortures this, that. Hajj time comes, mashallah, tabarakallah, first in line. He's washing his sins so he can do it some more times. And come back to this side, to the same side, and commit the same sin again. This is not a game. This is not a cat and mouse game. This is not outsmarting Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is about doing the right thing. That we should remind ourselves. So brothers and sisters, again, reminder to myself before to anybody else. If we really want to make this Ramadan the best Ramadan, we have to make certain sacrifices. We really have to do certain things above and beyond, so it can be better, the best Ramadan ever for us. First of all, we have to purify our intention. Most definitely. We have to make lots of dua for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to let us finish this Ramadan with the sincerity that we started, with the devotion that we started, and for Him to accept our fasting, our qiyam, our du'as, and so forth and so forth. Once we clear out of that, our hearts are, and made those du'a, we have to clear our hearts out of grudges towards other people. We take it lightly. We take it lightly, and this is a very serious issue. If we just take a second and think, how many people do we have problems against? Whether they wronged us or whether we wronged them. How many people, when they come into the masjid, that we spot them over making an entrance that we avoid even looking at their face? How many? How many people? Rasulullah advises the prodigy that he raised in his own household from the age of 12 or 11. Sayyidina Ali. He advised him one day with an advice that's pertinent to all of us. Sil man qata'aka. This is the first advice that he gave, 3 portions. The first portion of that advice was, reach out to the one who cuts you off. Reach out to the one who cuts you off. You didn't cut them off. They cut you off. And the responsibility is given to him. Reach out to him. Sil man qata'aka. وأحسن إلى من أساء إليك. Go above and beyond and do all the good things that you're capable of doing to the one who wronged you. Do extra good to the one who wronged you. وَقُلِ الْحَقَّ وَلَوْ عَلَى نَفْسِكَ. tell the truth even against yourself. How easy is that? Chew on it for a moment. Think about it for a second. Reflect on it. How easy is that? To reach out to the person who cut you off, to do all the good things that you can to the person who wronged you, did you wrong. And then to tell the truth, even against yourself, if that's what it requires, to be sided with the truth. Well, the person who really truly attains taqwallah, as this month is for, would not have a problem with that. He or she would not have a problem with that. To reach out to the person who cut them off and say, I'm sorry. To do extra good to the person who wronged them. That was the model of Rasulullah alayhi salatu wasalam. That was his model. That's the prophetic model of the Prophet and all the prophets before. They were good to those who wronged them. And they reached out to those who cut them off. And they told the truth, even against themselves and their beloved ones. Now again, we're human beings. We're not ma'soomeen of any kind. Allah did not protect us from committing all the mistakes that we as human beings are capable of committing. So we're not perfect. We're not prophets. I understand that part. But that's the standard. That's the gold standard. That's where you and I need to be always reminding ourselves to reach. That's the level that you and I are supposed to be reminding one another to reach. And the reward, definitely, is Jannah. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen, wassalatu wassalamu ala ashrafil mursaleen, Sayyidina wa Nabiyyina Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Brothers and sisters, as we mentioned in the first portion of the khutbah, this month is the month of Quran, the month whose value we all know, the month in which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala revealed the Quran in it. In it there is a night that's worth over 1,000 months, 80 some years, 81 plus years of worship. The value, the reward of this month, every Muslim, practicing Muslim knows this and understands this. We still need to remind ourselves. But how to prepare for that is where most of us fail. How to prepare ourselves for that month, that special month, is where most of us fail. May Allah make us those who really live up and practice what they preach, number one. Number two, may Allah cleanse all the nifaq out of our hearts, or playing games with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and thinking that Al-Alim al-Khabir is not aware of what we do. The all-knowing is not aware of what we do. We should cleanse our hearts to our own brethren before anybody else, because if you haven't done that, who else would you reach out to? Who? Those who are closest to you are the most important part to reach out to. Just to swallow that people. What Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says is بعد أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم ولا تستوي الحسنة ولا السيئة ادفع بالتي هي أحسن. Good and evil are never the same. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, repel evil with goodness. Now compare these ayat to ayat that I'm about to finish, to the hadith that you just heard that Rasulullah was training with Sayyidina Ali. What's the difference? Process that with your mind, figure out what's the difference. Allah says good and evil are never the same. So you repel evil with goodness by going above and beyond. فإذا الذي بينك وبينه عداوة كأنه ولي حميم. If you were to do that, that person whom you had enmity against or had one against you becomes your closest, most intimate friend. Allah adds the other portion, which is وَمَا يُلَقَاهَا إِلَّا الَّذِينَ صَبَرُوا وَمَا يُلَقَاهَا إِلَّا مِنْ حَظٍّ عَظِيمٍ. So the Creator knows it's not easy for everyone to perform that. So He reminds us who among the people are the ones who will be able to do that. Those who sincerely practice patience and those who are of greatest virtue, which is to attain the forgiveness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, where in the first 10 days of Rahmah, followed by the 10 days of Maghfirah, followed by the 10 days of Idwan min al-Nar, as Rasulullah divided this month. So we need each one of those to ultimately be delivered from hellfire or be rewarded with Jannah. We need the rahmah from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we need His maghfirah, and then we get the idwan min al-nar. So if we're not doing that to the other people that we're dealing with, the question is, how do you expect Allah to do? How? How is Allah going to do that for you? You don't want to forgive anybody. You detest it, but you want to violate against Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and you say, oh Allah forgive me, and Allah forgives you. And He's not aware of all these things that you do on the side. May Allah make us those who are pure in heart. May Allah accept our fasting, our ibadat, our du'as, inshallah, in this month. Let's turn our hearts to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allahumma ta'ala mimman yastami'una al-qawla fayattabi'una ahsanahu. Allahumma arina al-haqqa haqqan warzuqna ittiba'ahu wa arina al-batila batilan warzuqna ijtinabahu. Allahumma ighfir lana wa liwalidina, Allahumma ighfir lana wa liwalidina, Allahumma ighfir lil-muslimin wal muslimat wal mu'minina wal mu'minat warhamhum innaka qareebun sami'un mujib da'wati ya rabbil alamin. Allahumma innaka 'afuwwun kareem tuhibbul 'afwa fa'fu 'anna. Allahumma inna nas'aluka al-jannata